Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here as we get set for the first race of the fourth season of the now new factioned NRSL Reese's Rally Car Series. First time that the series is no longer under the PORWC banner, running it under the NRSL banner and getting ready to kick things off here today with our first race of the season. A lot of changes, including the league that this is run under, but we'll be getting to all that in just a moment. We're getting ready to kick things off here with a race. It's going to be at the Dakar opening stage. Now, I am not 100% certain just how much of this racetrack is part of the Le Mans circuit that you see the GTP cars run on, but I do know that at least the opening street course section and the finishing street court section are part of the traditional Le Mans circuit. It might all actually be part of the Le Mans circuit, and they've just kind of changed the textures and everything. I'm not 100% certain. I gotta be perfectly honest with you. I do know, though, that part of this is part of the Le Mans street course circuit. But as we're getting ready here for today's race, this is basically this season going to revolve around three different things. Number one, it's going to revolve around time. Each one of our races are going to be 30 minutes in length. When we reach zeros on the clock, the next time that the race leader hits the start-finish line, that is the white flag lap. Number two, this is only a 10-race schedule. The first three seasons that we had, when it was under the PORWC League name, there were 15 races. So it's been cut down by a third on how many races there are. And number three, this is going to be an all-road course season. Our season finales, let's get the command real quick.
Drivers, start your engines!
Our season finales for the first three seasons were actually at Talladega Super Speedway. We went to mile-and-a-half tracks. We went to super speedways. We went to road courses. It's all road courses here this season for the Rally Car Series. And if we're going to throw in a fourth caveat as well, track position in qualifying is going to be huge in these races because only the top 10 finishers will get points each and every week. And as this race progresses, I will fill you in on more details on how it's going to go down points-wise, what the schedule is. We've got a special thing called Power Stage races that are going to be taking place this season. You know, I'll fill you in on all of that as we progress here in this race. But Kyle Mathews is going to start on the pole position for the first race of the season. And he will be starting in a good track position, but I do know for certain that these drivers cannot make it on fuel for the 30 minutes, so that will be interesting as well. We will see at least one green flag pit stops. There will be no cautions in this race too, so if anyone wrecks, the NSRA split cam will break in and show you what happened, but there will be no full course yellow to bunch everybody back up. So 30 minutes will go on the clock when the green flag flies, and at the end of the 30 minutes, we will find out who's going to be the first winner of the season. Kyle Mathews leads us down. And green flags in the air. We're underway here at the Dakar opening stage. Drag race down into the first right-hander. Kyle Mathews side by side with Juan Garcia. Ooh, almost a little contact there as they're rubbing doors. Brooke Allen waiting to see what's going to happen as she's lined up in third place, and behind her you've got Julius Anderson. Mathews will clear for the top position as everyone runs a little wide through that corner. These are off-road vehicles, so you can get two tires off the racing surface and it doesn't hurt you that badly, depending on what the terrain is. The grass doesn't have a lot of grip. The sand traps kind of suck you in, but look at Brooke Allen out of the gate. Gonna try and go for the lead. Can she clear Kyle Mathews is the question as they head through one of my favorite portions of the course. No, Mathews going to hold on to the spot at least for now. And I think she's now side by side with Juan Garcia for second. She might actually have him cleared for that spot. It's kind of hard from this camera angle to tell, but Kyle Mathews is firmly in control of the lead. Yeah, they're side by side for second place there. Both cars, I believe, are Citroens. No, I guess one of them... No, they're both, nope, they both were Citroens. Actually, we got 3 Citroens up here. Citroen Xaras, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, as Kyle Mathews gets away. Right now in 5th place, Levi McIntire, waiting to see what's going to happen, as they're pretty congested from 2nd place on back. Should have mentioned as well that you can check out the starting lineup for this race. As wow, getting really loose back there. Who was that? That was Alexander Rowe. Off one of those bumps, getting a little bit loose. But you check down in the description below for your starting lineup for today's race. Kyle Mathews continues to show the way. Pretty good battle for 2nd. Well, it was between Brooke Allen and Julius Anderson, and just like that, it's gone. This is a cool section of the track, and I would be very interested to see what happened if a car went off track here. Running on the beach section right alongside of, I don't know if this is an ocean or a lake. It's a body of water. We'll make that known. But I would wonder what would happen if a car actually went off into that section. I've actually never driven this course before. This is actually the first time, at least to my knowledge, I remember actually even running this track in an offline race. As Brooke Allen begins to close up on Kyle Mathews. Right here is the fastest section of the course. It's a straight line roadway over a bit of a marshland, and that's where you're going to see drivers get runs and battle for position. Brooke's not close enough to challenge for the lead, though. Anderson there, Alexander Rowe up in 4th, and now J Jefferson has moved into the 5th position as Juan Garcia is going the wrong direction. Started 2nd. Levi McIntire is kind of faded out of the picture. There's Matthew Rodriguez and Mitchell Collins. I think we may have had an incident happen with Levi McIntire. If something has happened to anybody during the course of this first lap or the entirety of this race, it's Kyle Mathews off course and loses the lead. Also spinning is Julius Anderson. And now it's a battle for 2nd between J Jefferson and Alexander Rowe as Brooke Allen takes the lead. But our NSA split cam will show you what happens if anybody runs into some kind of an issue. And we got some drivers on pit road. Ryan Acosta and Quentin Moore, as well as Adam Garcia. Trying to see if we can find out where Levi McIntire is, because he was up inside of the top 10. There he is. Is that him right there, I think? Yep. 5th last time by, and now he's back here with James Shelly. That is, wow, close quarter racing with Johnny Gardner. Shelly ran a little bit wide there, as did Cole Baker in the 21. Good battle here between Matt McIntire and Jessica Shelton, a couple of Mitsubishi Lancers. Not exactly sure where on the course that is as far as positioning. And we got a driver hitting pit road already. That's Mitchell Collins, actually. And Collins has some front end damage. Damage is moderate for the season. It is not realistic, so drivers that receive damage should be able to continue unless it's engine damage. As this battle for 2nd continues on between Alexander Rowe and J Jefferson. And Jefferson tried to force his way in to take the runner-up spot. Finally is going to clear Alexander Rowe for the position. Matthew Rodriguez was hoping that battle would continue on, but now he's trying to reel in those two as he runs currently in that 4th position. So Brooke Allen enjoying the view, at least for the moment. But remember, all these drivers are going to have to make a pit stop before this session is over. Under 25 minutes left in the running of this race. So as these drivers have gotten themselves a little bit fanned out and we don't really have a battle for the lead at this point in time, let's take a look here at the point standings that I was going to be talking about coming into this one. It's really all about finishing in the top 10. You finish in the top 10, you get points. You finish outside of the top 10, you don't get any points for that particular race. And so it's very, very important and certainly going to, I think, prove to be who is the best of the best at these road courses as to who wins this championship. You get 25 points for winning the race. 2nd place gets 18, 3rd gets 15, 4th gets 12, 10 for 5th. 6th place gets 8, 7th gets 6, 8th gets 4, 9th gets 2, and 10th gets 1. Now, there are going to be 3 races in the schedule that are going to be what we are going to call power stage races, and that is where drivers that finish up in the top 5 in those particular races not only get the points for finishing in the top 5, but they also get bonus points as well. First place gets 5 bonus points, 4 bonus points for second, 3 for third, 2 for fourth, and 1 for fifth. And I will tell you in a moment what those power stage races are, as well as I'll give you guys a bit of an outlook of the schedule that's going to be coming up here for the remainder of the season. But it really does make it so imperative of getting good finishes to try and win the championship. And I mean, it kind of piggybacks, as far as this point system, it really piggybacks a little bit off of what we had in the Stadium Super Truck Series, with the points that you got for heat wins, the points that you got for LCQ wins, the points that you got in the main event. I mean, we saw a number of drivers that, you know, would be down there in the single digit in points. They'd get a win in a heat, they'd get a win in the main event, and before we knew it, they were up in the top 10 in the point standings. So, you know, we could definitely see something like that take place here as well. It really just comes down to consistency. There's no bonus points for winning the pole. There's no bonus points for leading a lap. No bonus points for leading the most laps. What I stated are the only points really that can be gained in the finishing of a race. Now, as we take a look at the schedule, we're here at the first race, the Dakar opening stage, which of course, as I pointed out, a good section of it, the street course section especially, is part of the Le Mans circuit. It's a 8.625 mile road course in length, in total length. Next week we're going to be going to the Dakar River Crossing, and then our first power stage race will be the 3rd race of the season at Monster Truck Rally. For those of you that tuned into the Stadium Super Truck Series, you will remember that track. I believe that was our 3rd race of that schedule. Then we're going to be going to our 4th race at Nürburgring. I call it Nürburgring. I don't think that's actually what it is. The way that it's spelled is Nürburgring, and I think that's how it's pronounced, but I mispronounce it, and I probably will continue to mispronounce it, especially when we get there. 5th race of the season is going to be at Mexico City. 6th race will be at Croft Clublands, which, I'm not mistaken, I believe is actually an adaptation of a road course that came out of a video game. And how about this? Brooke Allen's going to hit pit road. J Jefferson as well, and oh, they're spinning. This is a difficult pit road to get onto. Fortunately, though, there's no sand traps. It's actually grass, so these drivers are able to get the cars refired. And oh, Brooke Allen has hit the tire barrier. Hit the pit wall. Well, that usually doesn't happen here. And Brooke Allen is basically just giving away this win. M McIntire is on pit road. I think he's damaged. And I believe K Mathews just had the lead taken back. Yes, he did. It's the pole sitters back out in front. That's a tough break for Brooke Allen. It's bad enough that she spun getting onto pit road from the lead, but then she hits the pit wall. And I do know for certain that the INI here is set that way. That's not supposed to happen. So I don't know what exactly caused the Ford to impale on the pit wall, but it also gave some damage to a couple of other drivers as well getting onto the pit lane. So K Mathews now takes the lead. So 6th race of the season is at Croft Clublands, as I mentioned. It's an adaptation of a video game track. That is going to be our 2nd power stage race, where the bonus points will be given for the top 5 finishers. Then we go to what I think is going to be one of the most technical road courses on the season. I mean, you look here at this road course. Wide open spaces. You could run off the road. If you run off the road and get back on track, there's really no walls constricting these drivers to boundaries, but at Trois Rivieres, that definitely is the case. It's one of the tightest road courses I've ever actually raced at, and it's going to be a very technical track. Not a lot of room for passing, so track position will definitely be key there. Then we go to Montreal for the 8th race of the season. Island Rally will be our 3rd and final power stage race. A lot of people probably familiar with that, as it was our 2nd race of the season in the Stadium Super Truck Series. And then we end out the season at, in my opinion, maybe one of the more underrated road courses out there as far as like a rally course track. I believe we ran it at least once, maybe twice in the Hershey's Cup Series, and that is Baja Rally. It's a little bit of street course, a little bit of desert stage, a little bit of mountainous stage. It, to me, brings about some really exciting racing, and what better place than that kind of a track to have for our season finale. So K Mathews back out in front after we saw him lose the lead when he ran wide in one section of the course, which is actually, I think, coming up pretty soon. And bear in mind, he still is going to have to come to pit road, though. Second place now is R Brommer. Jessica Shelton now up to third. Fourth place is Cole Baker. Fifth place, J Shelly. Chris Dollerton now up to sixth. Seventh would be Wade Brummer. Carter Friesen would be eighth. Ninth would be T Wright, and Jordan Lopes right now would complete the top 10. But again, remember, all these drivers are still going to have to hit pit road. We've had drivers already hit pit lane, and out of those drivers that pit, I'm going to try and see who has come out the leader of those. As Cole Deaver sits on pit road, M McIntire, Quentin Moore, and R Acosta. So no doubt they will not get points today. A Garcia there as well. So they will obviously not be getting points for this race. There's B Allan. Mentioned that it's moderate damage, so apparently impaling the pit wall doesn't kill your car. But I'm not certain which drivers came to pit road and which drivers didn't. There's Levi McIntire back here. I don't know if he hit pit road or not. Julius Anderson's back here as well. I know those two were up towards the front. But B Allan does come off pit road ahead of Alexander Rowe and J Jefferson, who I know both hit pit lane on the same lap. So it could very well be B Allan in line to maybe take the race lead back when K Mathews pits, depending on how far back she is, which could be quite a ways. Oh, we got a battle for the lead here. R Brommer all over the back bumper of K Mathews. Mathews in a Ford Focus, and he's going to run that corner wide. R Brommer's going to almost run him off the track, and look at this! Door banging each other through this section, through the S's. And if they're both planning to come to pit road, they might not want to come to pit road side by side. Mathews around the outside swings to the top position again, and they're not going to pit. So K Mathews to the point. Let's see if anybody back here is coming to pit road. Baker stays out as he just took third place from Shelton. I don't see anybody back here that's coming to pit road, at least not up in the top 10. T Wright's going to pit. That's from, I believe, the 11th position. So T Wright makes it onto pit road safely as well. So this is going to be, at least at this point, a good pit stop for the 34. We'll see how his pit crew does in getting him a good pit stop to maybe get out there and cycle back somewhere in the top 10, which is the goal for all of these drivers, as K Mathews continues to lead. We are about halfway through this race. Clock's about to hit 15 minutes. And again, bear in mind, at the point when we hit zeros on the timer, wherever the leader is at the time that the clock hits zeros, next time he hits the line is the white flag. So let's say that they're on the street court section going through the S's, nearing the final corner, we hit zeros, then when they hit the line, that is the white flag lap. And you bear that in mind as well. You think about the fact that we're probably going to have at least one more regulation lap over the allotted time on the timer. These drivers and the pit crews and the crew chiefs, they have to strategize that as far as fuel. Got to strategize as far as not running just to the timer, but the extra lap that they'll have to run afterwards. Well, the Fords are looking good right now. They've got a Ford in the lead, and you got a Ford in third with Cole Baker. And then you got another Ford just back there, now I believe in the 6th position, and that is Chris Dollerton. The Focus is looking good, as are the Mitsubishi Lancers, who are currently running in 2nd, 4th, and 5th. There's one of them, Wade Brummer. Shelton there in 4th, and of course R Brommer trying to run down K Mathews for the race lead. Highest running Subaru right now is actually J Shelly in 7th. He's got Carter Friesen behind him, along with Jordan Lopes, so they are 7th, 8th, and 9th on the charts. And now breaking the top 10 is J Zoerlein after Trey Wright gave up the 10th position to come to pit road. Benny Watson right now would be in 11th place. Julius Anderson in 12th. 13th, Mitchell Collins, who we saw had the damage on the front end, but like I said, moderate damage, so still running and appears to still be up to speed. Matthew Rodriguez there. There's Trey Wright. So Trey Wright came off of pit road. Let's see, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th place. That was a good pit stop for Trey Wright. And I don't want to make assumptions, but depending on how long the pit stops are for these guys, we could see Trey Wright up inside of the top 5. So that pit stop, when he made it and the way that it was executed, it's like it was a very good one. Might have a battle here between James Shelly and Carter Friesen. A couple of Subaru Imprezas going at it, and this would be for 7th. Looks like Shelly's pulling away for now, so that battle rests for the moment. Shelton appeared to have a little bit of an issue as Wade Brummer was able to get around her. She drops from 4th back to 5th now. Cole Baker runs pretty wide through that corner. And the battle is on for the lead again. Kyle Mathews, we saw him mess up in that corner back on the first lap. And he almost messed it up again. He almost ran wide again, and Ryan Brommer was right there to capitalize. Look at them nose to tail here through the dirt section. And these two, they were side by side rubbing doors when we got to the street course section, which we are now on to. So will they rekindle that battle again? Brommer's looking. Not quite able to make a move on Kyle Mathews, though. Whoa, he tried to cut it down there on the right-hander. Couldn't quite do it. Kyle Mathews doing a lot of mirror driving right now. And as we are nearing 10 minutes left, do these drivers decide, okay, we're going to pit now? It's like Mathews is coming in. Brommer's going to stay out. Mathews has to make sure he doesn't spin it. Oh, he's around! Can he get it turned back around and not lose too much track position is the question. He'll get the thing refired, but of course we're going to have to keep an eye on the difference between him and Trey Wright, of course, because Trey Wright made it onto pit road a lot better than that. Cole Baker stayed out. Jessica Shelton came in, as did Chris Dollerton, and it looks like both of them actually made it onto pit road correctly, so they may actually gain some time on the 40 of Kyle Mathews. And we got another car in the wall. That's Carter Friesen in the 98. He'll teleport. Hopefully his toe isn't that long. We saw Brooke Allen was able to teleport and continue on in the race. So Carter Friesen might be able to do the same. But the question is, will he still be in the top 10? And is that smoke? Out of James Shelly, 72. I can't tell if that's the lighting or if that was smoke. They are servicing the car, so if it was smoke, he's not out of the race. I think that might have just been lighting. Now look at this. Chris Dollerton's going to come out of pit road right behind Kyle Mathews. So right here could potentially be the battle for the lead when they cycle back around, depending on when these other drivers come to pit lane. We did have, I think, 4 drivers still out there on the track that haven't pitted. Matthew Rodriguez right now would be in 4th. Wade Brummer would be in 3rd. Cole Baker would be in 2nd. And Ryan Brommer currently the race leader. But I think all 4 of them still have to pit. Everybody that has pit so far, I don't think will have to pit again. I think they will be good to go as we are under 10 minutes remaining here in this race. But there is no way that we will be having zeros on the clock by the time we get around here for the completion of this lap. So we will have at least, I would say, 2, maybe 3 more laps to go in this event. Cole Deaver returns back to the racetrack after an extended stay on pit road, right now scored in 34th. We do have a driver out of the race, James Shelly. So Shelly was smoking apparently. I thought I saw smoke coming out of the front grille there. Might have been a radiator issue, and he's out of the race. And we do have some other drivers out of the race officially as well. Zach Rogers has taken his car back behind the wall. Looks like he will probably finish in the 35th position. Also out of the race, Carson Gum. Looks like he will finish in 36th, and also Matt McIntire is out. Looks like he will probably finish this race in dead last, 37th. All dependent on these drivers that were on pit road for an extended amount of time, like Cole Deaver, Ryan Acosta as well, Quentin Moore, and Adam Garcia, whether they can get enough track position to pass those drivers. Looks like James Shelly may finish the day out in 34th. And of course, all the incidents you guys have been made privy to, courtesy of the Anniversary Split Cam. So you guys are made aware of what caused these drivers to retire out of the race. That was a bit of a frame spike right there. It's the best battle on track right now, but I don't think it'll last for very long, as these drivers are still going to have to hit pit road before the conclusion of this race. 7.5 minutes to go. Ooh, is there contact right there between Baker and Wade Brummer? I don't know. And Wade Brummer with a crossover. Nice pass. Well, at least a nice move to get alongside Baker. This is a horrible turn to be double wide. And somehow they both made it through. That has been the Achilles heel turn for a number of drivers just going single file. And they were able to make it work going side by side. Still side by side, Baker with the slight edge. And now Wade Brummer has to tuck back in line. Matthew Rodriguez a long ways back behind these guys in 4th place. And right here we might be looking at the battle for the race lead. Oh, Kyle Mathews wheel hops it there, lost grip, and Levi McIntire is going to get around him. I think Levi's already been to pit road. I'm not 100% certain. Ooh, locked up the brakes there, and he's going to spin it out. So now Mathews going to get by him. Chris Dollerton there as well. It may come down between a couple of Ford Focuses for this win, but it really is all going to depend on these guys too. And their pit stop, as Ryan Brommer is going to hit pit lane this lap, made it on safely. What about Baker and Brummer? Baker makes it on safely, as does Wade Brummer. And I believe Matthew Rodriguez still has to hit pit road as well. Adam Garcia looks like he had to pit again. Don't know what that was necessarily for, because he spent a long time on pit road, so I would have thought he'd have been good to go on fuel the rest of the way. And Matthew Rodriguez indeed does have to come to pit lane. And he does not spin it. So that will possibly turn the lead back over to Kyle Mathews, depending on where the 87 of Ryan Brommer comes out. And remember, T Wright was one of the first drivers to hit pit road. He's now up here, cycling to possibly 3rd place. Let's see where Ryan Brommer is. Ryan Brommer's already left pit road. So Brommer is going to come out, it looks like, still with the lead. Kyle Mathews would be 2nd. Dollerton 3rd. T Wright 4th. Baker would be 5th. McIntire 6th. 7th, Wade Brummer. 8th, Jordan Lopez. Jessica Shelton back on pit road there in the 93. Matthew Rodriguez getting his service done. Dylan Young hitting pit lane. We got a car in the tire barriers. That's Z Winkle, one of the Abu Dhabi cars. Must not have gotten that car completely full of fuel for Jessica Shelton. And that's a tough break, because she was up there for a chance of cycling back around inside of the top 10. So now Kyle Mathews trying to run down Ryan Brommer. And the question is, as we near 4.5 minutes, will they make it back around to the start-finish line before zeros go on the clock? Because there could be another 2 laps in store for these drivers. And if that's the case, I don't know exactly what the fuel window is, but the fact that we saw Adam Garcia back on pit road, I almost would worry a little bit for Levi McIntire and T Wright on whether they can make it on fuel. I think what they need is they need zeros to be on the clock before this lap is completed. I think that's really what they need. I think they may have enough fuel for 1 more lap, but I don't know if they got enough fuel for 2 more laps. And Kyle Mathews is closing up the gap between himself and Ryan Brommer. We saw these two side by side a number of times battling for the lead before they made their respective pit stops, and it looked like Kyle Mathews was just a little bit better. But I also would not count out Chris Dollerton back there in that 33, because he had a really good pit entry and a good pit stop, came out right behind Kyle Mathews, and he's got a shot at this as well. And remember that Chris Dollerton is coming off of a big championship in the Stadium Super Truck Series. Look at this, Kyle Mathews, he's there. And he's going to catch Ryan Brommer in one of the more draft-reliant sections. This long straightaway along the beach, and then there's another long straightaway after the upcoming right-hander. So this could be a perfect opportunity for Kyle Mathews to set Ryan Brommer up. Under 3 minutes. Chris Dollerton waiting in the wings to see what happens. Let's see if they can make it through this turn safely. Looks like they did. Dollerton undercut it a little bit there to get better grip, not getting 2 tires into the sand. Here's Mathews looking to maybe do the slingshot through this long straightaway area over the marshlands. Gonna lose a little bit of ground there, actually, to Ryan Brommer. One of the fastest sections, and then you come down here into that right-hander that's tripped a lot of drivers up. Oh, Mathews gonna look to the outside. He might try a crossover cut into the right-hander, and Dollerton is right there as well. Can they make it through this turn safely is the question. Up over the jump. We saw Mathews wheel hop it before. This time, he's going to get around the outside, and here comes Dollerton. He's going to pass them both. What a move by Dollerton. Oh, they go through this section. Dollerton's a little off course, and he's going to lose all that momentum. He's going to drop from the lead back to 3rd place again, as Mathews is going to get the top spot. But that was a heck of a battle through those couple of corners. Dollerton made it almost 3 wide, got the lead. Mathews, through a section that he had messed up the lap before, went around the outside, and now we head into the street course section. This is where Ryan Brommer seems to be a little bit better. 1.5 minutes left. I think they're going to hit the line before we get zeros on the clock, which means there's going to be 2 more laps still remaining in this race. So it is still not over. Oh, Dollerton almost got ran off the course there by Ryan Brommer. Look at this, banging doors on each other. And Dollerton's going to clear for 2nd. 1 minute still left on the ticker. That means that we will have 2 more laps of racing here. Who's got the fuel to make it? J Wright is on pit road. Like I said, I think he was banking on it only being 1 lap left to go. He knows he can't make it 2 laps, and thus he has to come to pit lane, giving up the 4th position. Levi McIntire, same strategy. He has to hit pit road as well. Here's a good battle back here between Cole Baker and Jordan Lopez. And I believe that just turned into a battle for the 4th position. Sorry, for 5th place, rather. Lopez is going to take it. Baker now drops back to 6th. 7th place looks like might end up being Benny Watson. 8th place will possibly be Mitchell Collins. Jessica Shelton's back on pit road again. So I'm not really sure about the remainder of the top 10 who's going to be there. Maybe T Wright will still be in the top 10, as J Jefferson's on pit road as well in the 31. And Kyle Mathews opening up some daylight between himself, Chris Dollerton, and Ryan Brommer as they are closing in on Cole Deaver. But now, here's the big question. I mean, I think Kyle Mathews came in the lap after T Wright did, so is Kyle Mathews good to go on fuel? You can see the ticker is gone. Ticker is gone. Time-wise, we are complete, so the next time by a round, it will be the white flag lap. But if Kyle Mathews was only 1 lap to the good better than T Wright, the question is, can he make it? Now, I believe Chris Dollerton is also on the same lap strategy as Kyle Mathews, so Ryan Brommer, who was one of the last drivers to hit pit road, this fuel-wise could play into his hand. We're going to have to wait and see, though. We got Wade Brummer back there now in 4th. Trying to remember if anybody else was on the strategy of Ryan Brommer. And I want to say Cole Baker was, but I'm not certain. Well, that was close right there, going off the bump, and they were almost bumper to bumper between Dollerton and Ryan Brommer, and Dollerton just cut off Brommer's nose. It's hard to have two drivers in the field that have similar names for last names. We got Brommer and Brummer, and they're running third and fourth, and both are in Mitsubishi Lancers. I don't know what that has anything to do with it, but I figured I'd throw in that fun fact. Ryan Brommer's going to make the move for second on Chris Dollerton. Can't quite get him this time. Dollerton's going to hang on to the spot. If I'm these guys, Mathews and Dollerton, I'm trying to save at least a little bit here. Ryan Brommer, on the other hand, he can go all out because I think he would be good to go on fuel for the remainder of this. Remember, it's still one more lap when they hit the line because they will be receiving the white flag this time by. And it's all about finishing inside of the top 10. And with that being said, how about the 91? Currently running in that 10th position according to the scoring, Matthew Rodriguez. Well, he's not there anymore. Right now, your top 10, as they run, would be Mathews, who runs wide again. He's going to get the tire barrier. Here comes Dollerton and Brommer as they get into each other. Brommer's going to pass for second. Oh, he's going to run wide. Mathews spins it. Mathews spins it from the lead again. Second time that corner has been his Achilles heel, and that just might have cost him the win. That might have just cost him the race. It's now between Dollerton and Brommer, but bear in mind, Brommer is better on fuel than Dollerton. If I'm Dollerton, right now, you could go for big picture racing and realize if you come to pit road, you might come out and still be cycled in the top 10. But right now, if I'm Dollerton, I think I'm going to risk it, stay out, and try and make it on fuel on this final lap. Or maybe get wrecked! Contact! The leaders wreck! Ryan Brommer and Chris Dollerton get together and wreck! Here comes Wade Brummer in the 50, trying to take the race lead away from them both, and he will do so! Dollerton's stuck in the tire barriers. Ryan Brommer is caught in the sand trap. That turns the lead over to Wade Brummer in the 50. Can you believe it? And he's staying out. He's going to see the white flag. One more lap to go. Jordan Lopez now will move up to second. Kyle Mathews to third. Baker to fourth. They're not pitting. So now it's going to come down as Dollerton and Ryan Brommer, who are battling for the lead. They're now on pit road. It's going to come down to whether Wade Brummer can hit his marks. Jordan Lopez is only 3.5 seconds back, so if Wade Brummer makes a mistake, Lopez could close in. Mathews stays out. He's in third. Baker currently in line for fourth. He might be able to get up and make it a battle for third with Kyle Mathews. Fifth place right now would be Mitchell Collins, who ran into trouble early on. What a comeback for him. Sixth place, as Benny Watson is going to hit pit road. Actually, I think he was in sixth. So he's giving up sixth place possibly to Matthew Rodriguez. I think Shelton still is going to be up in the top 10, despite being on pit road 3 different times. And Dylan Young might also crack the top 10. In the 89, it's really all going to depend on where Benny Watson and Trey Wright come off of pit road, because they were inside the top 10 when they pitted. Here comes Watson. And Dylan Young's hitting pit road. So Watson's going to come off of pit road, I think. Oh wait, there's Levi McIntire as well. McIntire is up in, I believe, the 6th position. So yeah, he's in 6th. Rodriguez would be 7th. Watson is now 8th. Shelton would be 9th. And Trey Wright right now would complete your top 10. If they are where they're running at this current point in time. You can see Jordan Lopez. He's there. He's within striking distance. Kyle Mathews, Cole Baker, I think they're too far back. But I think for Lopez, in order for him to catch Wade Brummer, he needs him to make a mistake. And there are plenty of areas on this track where that is possible. at least 3 places spring to my mind immediately. And of course, the question of fuel as well. Can these drivers make it on fuel? I mean, boy, this has been what a way to open up the season. Great racing all the way through the field, pit strategy, and it was looking like it was going to be a battle between Kyle Mathews, Ryan Brommer, and Chris Dollerton. Mathews messes up a corner, loses the lead. It's then side by side between Dollerton and Brommer. They make contact, and both of them now, as a result, spinning into the sand trap, will not be finishing in the top 10. Coming down close to one of the sections I was talking about that might be a trouble spot, that little jump heading into the kind of apex left-hander. If you don't land it just right, you can run wide into the sand trap, and that could allow Lopez to close up some time between himself and Wade Brummer. There you can see him just barely in the same camera shot as the Mitsubishi Lancer. Here's the section right here I was talking about. Off the jump, lands it, and very nice corner by Wade Brummer. Jordan Lopez looks like he makes it through the section as well. Now down here, has to make sure he doesn't run it wide. Oh, we got 4 tires off into the grass, but he kept it going. Lopez keeps 2 tires on the dirt, so that'll gain him a little bit of time, but not a whole heck of a lot. Got a car up ahead, Sebastian Cucalon of Wade Brummer, but I don't think he'll be a factor. You see Lopez did gain some time, but I don't think he's close enough to mount a challenge. Last section here for Wade Brummer. Oh, that's the section right there. There was another spot he could mess up. He brushed the steel guardrail, but he kept it straight again. And it looks like he's going to be home free to pick up this victory. Down through the final sections of the course, Wade Brummer in the 50. Some might say he got handed this win, but you got to be in the right place at the right time. And Wade Brummer's going to bring it down through the final S's. And he is going to take the checkered flag here today at the Dakar opening stage race. And he is the winner here today in the first race of the season. Lopez will bring it home in second. Here comes Cole Baker. He will finish it out in third. Kyle Mathews had to come to pit road, and he's in the tire wall. Along with Adam Garcia. I don't know where this is going to score him. Is it going to score him in fourth? Here comes the 5th place car, Mitchell Collins. Let's see if they score him in 4th place or not as he hits the line. Does Mathews get 4th after teleporting across the finish line? No! It's going to be Collins in 4th. How far is Mathews going to fall? McIntire, looks like he will cross the line in 5th. Yes, he will. So he'll get points. Matt Rod's haven't hit pit road. He's got to at least cross the start-finish line. Jessica Shelton might be able to get the spot from him. Might be able to get 6th if McIntire can't cross the line quickly enough. As long as he doesn't hit the wall. And he does hit the wall! That's going to hurt Matt Rod. Shelton's going to come across the line in 6th place. And Kyle Mathews is out of the race. We're going to have to see where he gets scored. Shelton crossed the line. She's going to be... Actually, no, she scored 7th. Who got 6th? Oh, Mathews is going to be scored in 6th. Mathews is scored in 6th. He will finish in 6th. Shelton's going to get 7th. Diego Yepez will finish the day out in 8th. Trey Wright just crossed the line. He's going to get 9th. And completing your top 10 is going to be the 77 of Benny Watson. And they will both finish on pit road. So the race is complete. And there is your winner, Wade Brummer. We will step aside for a brief moment, get the standings official, and show you your finishing results from today's race here at the Dakar opening stage. So here you go. The standings are official now. And it will be Wade Brummer with the win, Jordan Lopez in second, Cole Baker third, Mitchell Collins battles back for fourth, Levi McIntire fifth. Shelton did get sixth over Kyle Mathews. Mathews will actually finish in seventh. 8th is Diego Yepez, T Wright in 9th, and Benny Watson completes the top 10, and those are the only drivers that will get points for this race. So close was D Poteet. He'll finish in 11th. Matthew Rodriguez would have finished in the top 10. He'd not messed up that pit road entry. He'll finish in 12th. Dylan Young in 13th, Zoerlein 14th, and R Brommer, he will finish in the 15th position. Had a shot for this win, as did C Dollerton. They'll finish in 15th and 17th place. You look on down through the remainder of the finishing results there. You see B Allan finishing out of the race after she was out in front, I believe led the first lap of this race. Other drivers finished out of the race, including LaPlante and Winkle. You got Rowe, Shelly, Friesen, Rogers, Gum, and McIntire also finishing down there. I mean, a DNF doesn't really mean much since you don't finish in the top 10. It's all about finishing in the top 10 for getting points. So 25 very valuable points will be going the way of Wade Brummer heading into next week's race. And we'll have to see if he can build on that and try and grow the points lead here as the season progresses in the Reese's Rally Car Series. Next week, we head to the Dakar River Crossing for our second race of the season. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race, though. Boy, that was a pretty exciting race, too, for it being a road course, but hope that next week will be just as exciting as Wade Brummer takes the win. Hope you guys enjoyed the race. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, to become part of the crew today. We have shown you full finish results, and these are what the point standings look like heading into next week. Only the top 10 got points, but you can see where everybody else is as well in terms of their finishing positions and their average finish and all that. But anyway, next week we will see you for race number 2. Until then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching production of the SRA and an NRSL production as well here with the Reese's Rally Car Series. Until then, I will see you guys next time.